Well, what's cracking, people? Anansi here, and welcome back to Sudeki. In the last one, Elco traveled back to Illumina and found out the horrible truth that his machine was never going to safeguard anything. And now you're on the run after sabotaging said machine to get Tilly to a safe place to hide while he goes and rectifies the mistakes that he has made in his life, i.e., helping Lucica and Talos. And at the end of the last episode, I touched upon, with Elco receiving his second skill strike. I touched upon the idea. Well, I said the idea. I touched upon something that Tetsu told us in the last episode, and that was that the 8 heroes will merge into 4. That means that Cazel and Tao will merge into one being, Ailish and Lexine will merge into one being, Elco and Kafu will merge into one being, Nico and Luke will merge into one being. And I was going on about how each one was kind of a reflection of what was missing in the other ones like personality, the other one's life. But to be perfectly fair to you, it's not actually a sense where it's like always one-to-one. You could make the argument that while Kafu is what Elco is missing to make him a complete being. Let's say, the beauty in the world. He doesn't really see. Let me just dodge one, please. This is not Dark Souls. Game is nowhere near that hard. But yeah, while I was going on about that, I unintentionally kind of hinted that made it seem like it was just a kind of one-to-one thing, that the Ascilians were missing parts of their parts with the Teclorians were missing. But an argument could be made that very few of the Eclorians and Ascilians are actually one-to-one. Nico and Buki are missing each other in equal parts. Buki is missing. I'm going to go ahead and say it right here because I never know when Tilly might end up dying. Nico is missing Buki's serious personality, missing her seriousness and her more religious zealousness. But Buki is way too over the top. She needs to chill, and that's where Nico comes in. Nico is that part supposed to mellow her out. Tal is missing that kind of gruffness that makes it where he's not still naive. I mean, we kind of saw it when he was rescuing Ailish and Buki. He rushed in and kind of went Rambo for no apparent reason, other than he just went Rambo. But Cazel, and Cazel has that down to earth soldier type. He's more or less kind of like Arlo than anything else. You know what? You want to use that? We're going to use Trick Shot. Really see how much damage this does. One shot does a lot of damage. I love it. But yeah, no, we like Cazel is more or less the perfect soldier. He's essentially what you can make the argument. He's essentially what Arlo wishes that Tal would have been, or he's pushed him to be in the earlier parts of the game before he finally chilled out. And Carlos is what Arlo was missing. He's that mellow soldier who's level-headed and doesn't have a drinking problem. But Cazel's also missing Tal's naivete, Tal's ability to, for all intents and purposes, be the naive hero type. He's kind of missing that temperament. And I've mentioned it in the last episode, episode before last actually, that Kafu is missing Elco's ability to be down to earth, missing his ability to, be analytical, be realistic. He lives in a fantasy world too more often than he really needs to. But Elco is missing the ability to be in the fantasy world, to see the bright color. Because remember, some of our greatest inventions in the world came from, our scientists being daydreamers. For instance, the periodic table was invented as he came to somebody in a dream. He literally dreamt up the periodic table, and that's how we got what we got. Same thing with Albert Einstein. A lot of his stuff was just him daydreaming and just thinking with a creative bent to it, but it still had a logical creativeness to it. There's still a little bit of imagination there when you are creating. heck, even Futurama kind of touched on it in one of their episodes where um, Farnsworth's son, his clone son anyway, dreamt up a solution to a problem that they were having in the immediate moment. And you know, I thought that was a very nice touch to kind of have that come full circle, because beforehand, Farnsworth's clone did not. He discounted dreams. He didn't see the point of it. He thought it was just silly delusions of an old man. And then, you know, they get into their little scrape where they're trying to save Farnsworth. It turns out having a dream was a good idea. Alexi and Ailish, it's kind of hard to tell what each one is missing. Ailish just wants a little bit more adventure in her life. Alexi seems to be, for all intents and purposes, satisfied with where she is. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe Alexine is missing a little bit of excitement in her life. And, well, I would say excitement, but a little bit of that curious nature of wanting to be excited, you know? While Ailish is missing that satisfaction. So it's all about how you want to look at it. I'll admit, it's still kind of hard to pin down, at least for me. If you have any ideas in the comments, feel free to let me know. And yes, I understand that the cheeks can also be something that Alexi's missing, but right now they're just kind of covered up. So we'll just say she has them and go from there. But beyond that, you're alright, Tilly, you're alright. A little bit of health in me, and a little bit of SP. I'm going to need to stock up on some, at the very least, do another quick select. What we got here? Let's do a luster drink. I got a good number of those. Yeah, that's fine. And that's pretty much it. And I like how they kind of go about it, because when I first got to this part, because believe it or not, going, once again, story time of Anansi being bad at games, or being bad at RPGs, I didn't get to this part after a while. Yes, I did eventually reach Aquaria, but I didn't get too far into it, and had to restart, and I restarted the game after a while. You know, it's just one of those things. Once again, I would always get to the Shadow. I would usually, when I first played the game, I would usually get to the point of rescuing Ailish and going off to the Shadani Temple and then stop. I did that like 4 or 5 times where I finally got past the Shadani Temple, got into the Shadow Nexus, and reached Transcendine, then all the way up into Aquaria, and then I had done the same thing. To even get in here, they already did that to me. Okay, so I'm going to need you guys to kind of take a chill pill for a minute, if you don't mind. Thank you. And once again. Damage, that killed 2 of them, I think. Nope, just the one. Okay. Cosmetica.
Let's put a little lead in the air.
And yeah, so I get to this part and I would restart again because I thought the Tilly section was just too hard and whatnot. It was just one of those things, you know. It was just one of those things. But you eventually get over it. You eventually play it and you get through it. Well, I am getting my butt handed to me. He dead. Okay, I'm gonna do this real quick. Might do a nano enhancement in a second here, just so I can do a little bit more damage. There we go. And yes, you know, they can run out of the way of your attacks. Okay, so I'm having a bit of a problem. Let's do some nano enhancement. I'm going to need... Now I need to be careful because it looks like Tilly's getting low on health and I think she might be out of healing potions, so... Yeah... So we're going to do a trick shot on this guy because he is going after my wife and I am not all about that life. One-shot kill. Same thing to you. Gonna go one-shot kill on you. Well, hopefully anyway. I'm not sure who's gonna kill this guy one-shot. Yep, one-shot kill. Stuff going on here. Excuse me, honey. Just trying to heal up real fast. Any more? Nope. Okay. Okay, and since there's no more enemy encounters from here, we are in the clear. All that's left is just to get us back to get us to New Brightwater and be done with it. Don't need to see you because we're pretty much good. I'll admit though, I'm not happy with the fact that Elco loses his double jetpack, because if you really think about it, we don't have it for long. The one thing is one of the reasons why I think that Elco should have gotten his enlightenment moment in my opinion, I think that each character's second spirit strike should have happened in a Chloria. And maybe have it happen alongside their Chlorian counterparts at the exact same time. But didn't happen that way, so we're just gonna have to deal with what we got. You know? And once again, it's one of those things where it's like I hope that if they do redo this story, or they do remake it or update it or whatever, that they do add some more details to it. I understand it's not like a classic that is not like Final Fantasy VII or Halo, where it's like it was such a phenomenon when it came out. It has stayed in the public consciousness for so long that it's worth doing. But you know, maybe give it a shot, see what happens.
You should be safe here. Promise me that you will stay away from the castle. I'll be back for you as soon as I can.
I won't leave the house until you return. I promise. Now go. You have a lot of explaining to do to Tal and the others.
I love you, Tilly. I'll...
Shh. You'll be back. I know.
Ah, that was sweet. Any updated quests? No updated quests, huh? Oh, new quest. There we go. Took a moment. Return to Scientine. Join the others back in Scientine to ask for their forgiveness, enlist their aid in stopping Lord Talos and Queen Lucica. So, yeah. But yeah, no, I maintain that we probably should have gotten a little bit more out of this, and that's something that I would like to see in a remake. Even though I have talked about it repeatedly, I probably should have. Well, you know, it is what it is. Going to go to the Realm of Shadows, and then we're just going to go immediately back to the Scientine Citadel, even though we have like 2 fights to deal with when we get there, because you know the nearest warp station, warp gate, warp portal, whatever you want to call it, is literally 2 fight arenas away from where we need to be. So yeah, this kind of is what it is, you know. And then Elco is going to have a lot of explaining to do. Like, they all know what's going on. They all understand what's going on. I also hate that they do this when they give you all these options. We don't need to go to Transcentia. We don't need to go to Illumina Countryside. We don't need to go to Shadani Mo. Well, Temple of Mo. We don't need to go to Crystal Reef. Here's the Devil's Belch. So this is the closest one we go to. Because the next one is the Chlorian Stronghold, and it's just a loop back around. So, yeah. Don't make the mistake I make and go straight to Crystal Reef, and then you have to run all the way back to the Scientine, because that was not a fun experience for me when I first did this. I'm not going to lie. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Young Anansi was not a good gamer. Not by a long shot. I don't think I actually got to be a good gamer until after I started playing Jack and Daxter and Halo. I would say those two probably did the most to actually improve my gaming skills. Don't know why that arrow is pointing that way, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah. Yeah, no, going from there, you just kind of have to do what you gotta do with Elco, and Elco understand where he is in his mind, because for all intents and purposes, he's just coming to terms with the fact that everything he's ever known is now a lie. It just, well, not even a lie, is that he's been tricked. He didn't have all the answers, at least not all the ones that he thought he had, and that's a hard thing to come to terms with. As any human being, just accepting that you didn't know what was what. And the fact that Elko, even through all of this, had the presence of mind to admit that he was wrong. Yeah, I gotta have Matt. I gotta give props to Elko. It would have been like any other person would have just said, "Look," would have probably just folded in themselves and said, "No, I'm not wrong. Everybody else is wrong. You guys trying to trick me, yada 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 yada." But I was like, nope. When he was presented with the evidence, and that is literally been his whole thing, when he was presented with evidence to the contrary, he understood. He understood. Yeah, I done messed up. Now I gotta make this right. So, he was true to that. It wasn't that he was a hypocrite. Could have easily been a hypocrite, but no, he was true to that conviction. Gotta go through here. Oh, so I guess the fights don't trigger. I remember these fights triggered when I got through here. Well, it is a random chance. And I guess given the fact that they threw literally every single encounter at you in every single arena you could on the way to New Brightwater, yeah, I guess they give you a break, or I guess it's random chance they give you a break. I really don't know. I just remember, as I just have memories of actually fighting those monsters by doing these whatchamacallits by myself, doing these fights by myself on the way back. It was not fun. Not fun at all. At any rate, here we are.
We must strike now while the iron is hot. Don't be a fool. You wouldn't stand a chance attacking Illumina. There are thousands of soldiers stationed there, and the Eclorian army is in tatters.
Anyway, you can't just attack Illumina. It's my home. Mother will listen to me. I can talk her around.
It's too late for that.
Elco,
Forgive me, my friends.
you've got to be kidding. You built the machine that plunged us into darkness. You betrayed us all when you stole the crystal. And now you expect us to forgive?
I have risked everything in coming here. Lucica has pulled the wool over my eyes for long enough. You were right about everything. The machine is draining away your light. But I swear I had no idea. I'm afraid that's not the worst of it. Lord Talos and the Queen have a plan. The machine is not the peace shield that I believed I was building. It's little more than a generator. They want to create enough magical energy to raise and bind a demon.
Haigu.
Yes, Lucica believes that she can bind Haigu into Talos' body and return the Dark Lord to the plane of men once more.
Nonsense! Why would Mother want to do that?
She is scared. Scared of her own mortality. She has watched her own mother waste away, ravaged by disease. And so now she is simply clinging to her kingdom the only way she knows how. If it was a political problem, I suppose she could see a way out. But it's not. It's her life, and the manner of her inevitable death. Ailish, I am so sorry to have to tell you all this.
What about the machine? You could destroy it.
It's taken 10 years to build. It's not as easy as pressing the self-destruct button. But I have bought us some time.
Forget about the machine and Lucica. It's too late. Haigu is coming. This is the fulfilling of the prophecy. You are chosen to fight, all of you.
According to the prophecies of Omnia, in times of struggle, the four heroes will return once more to do battle with the Dark Lord. Through their unification, that which has been torn will mend as one, and Sudeki will rise from the selfishness of separation. Each of you has been visited by Tetsu, and he has granted you the power of his champions, Cariston, Olivitus, Libius, and Mo. I believe that if you were to merge together, those heroes will be reborn in you.
This is the will of the gods. It is time to join together.
If you are to defeat Haigu, then you must travel to the Void and give praise to Tetsu. In the Void, you will become whole at last. You will be reborn into the life you should have always had. Know that one of you will be chosen as the conduit of Tetsu and will do battle with Haigu himself. The fate of the world will be carried on your shoulders. If you decide to accept the challenge and leave behind the lives you all know, then I will deliver you into the Void. But think carefully. There will be no going back.
And just like that, we are back together with our crew. Tal, Ailish, Buki, and Elco. All together as one. I believe we have some level ups, don't we? No, we don't. So we need to level up some characters, or we can if we want to. We still have a couple of side missions left. That is what Capri was telling us, that if we so choose, we talk to her and she'll let us do the side quests. She'll send us straight to the Void immediately. I'm going to do the side quests first. And I say side quest, it's really just one side quest and like two things that we could have done that I haven't done yet. Well, two specific things that I know of, and we will do that next time, and then you will join me, hopefully, for the finale. Well, hopefully, you will be joining me for the finale of Sudeki. Winding on down here, people. I've been Anansi. You've been awesome. Peace.